ओम गणानां त्वा गणपतिं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमं ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पतान् शृण्वन्नोतिभिः सीदसादनं श्रीमहागणाधिपतये नमः। गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुस्साक्षात् परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। Om. Dear friends, we have almost completed the bhashyam under the 13th shloka of 5th chapter, that is Sarva Karmani Manasa Sanyasyaste Sukham Vashi Navadvare Pure Dehi Naiva Kurvanna Karayan. We have read about the attitude of this Jnani. What exactly is the attitude of the Jnani? There may be action, Sarva Karmani Manasa Sanyasya. There may be action in that person, but there is no doer. So, at the end we have seen, is it applicable to Atma? Atma, is it having any Kartrutva or Karayitrutva? Kartrutvam is Karta, being a Karta. The state of being a Karta is Kartrutvam. The state of being Karayita is called Karayitrutvam. Karta is doer. Karayita is the director of action. He does not do, he directs somebody else to do. He is the director of action. Karayitrutvam is the state of being the director of that action. So, is that present in the Atma or not? So, that was the question which we were seeing in the last class. That is the last line. Atrochyate nasti atmanaha swataha kartrutvam karayitrutvam cha. This line we read. Atma does not have kartrutvam or karayitrutvam because Atma is nothing but Brahman only. And Brahma is something which is avikari. Avikari means something which is immutable. It has no change in it. There is no addition, there is no deletion, there is no change. That is the status of Brahma. So Atma is of the same nature. So that Kartrutvam and Karayitrutvam, they belong to Prakriti and they don't belong to the Atma. So Atrochyate, he is also giving some examples. We have to read this line. Uktam hi avikaryo yamuchyate sharirasthopi kaunteya na karoti nalipyate iti dhyayativa lelayativa iti shrutehe. So he is giving examples first from Gita and then from Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. So he is giving the examples of already one shloka which we already completed. Avikaryaha ayam uchyate. Ayam means ayam atma, avikaryaha iti uchyate. This atma is avikari. This we have seen in the second chapter, the 25th shloka of second chapter. We have seen that atma is something which is immutable, which undergoes no change. So that is what we have seen. Then we will also see in the 13th chapter, 13th adhyaya, 31st shloka, Sharirasthopi kaunteya na karoti nalipyate. It appears to be in the body, Sharirasthaha, it appears to be associated with the body, but then na karoti nalipyate. It does not do, it does not get tainted by any action. There is no doership in that, and then the effect of action does not taint it. So that is the meaning. Then dhyayativa lelayativa, that is dhyayati iva. Dhyayati iva means it appears as though it is thinking. Lelayati iva, as though it is just moving about. Lelayati iva. So this is a context where say the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, it talks about this Atma Dharma, and then Atma is something which because of the association with the Upadhi, this Sharira body mind complex is an Upadhi, and it is the Atma which illumines this Upadhi. Atma is only an agent which is the thing which provides a Chaitanyam. Atma is something which is a Chaitanyam which is which is there everywhere. And that is what illumines the body, which gives that intelligence to the body. Illumines means not as though putting a light, but then it gives intelligence to the body. So it only gives intelligence, but then it is not there is no Kartrutva nor Karayitrutva in that. Dhyayati iva. Because of the Upadhi, it appears as though it is thinking. Because of the Upadhi called body-mind complex, it may be something, some other Upadhi, it appears as though it is moving. So that is the Shruti. Shruti is Brihadaranyaka. Shruti, whenever the word Shruti means Veda. The word Shruti means Veda. Smruti means It can be any Smriti, including, say, Gita, Ramayana, Mahabharata. These are referred to as Smritis also sometimes. Of course, Gita is always referred to as Smriti. Then, next shloka, na kartrutvam
Na kartrutvam iti.
So let us read this shloka. Na kartrutvam na karmani.
Na kartrutvam na karmani.
Lokasya srujati prabhuhu.
Lokasya srujati prabhuhu.
Na karma phala sanyogam.
Na karma phala sanyogam.
Swabhavastu pravartate.
Swabhavastu pravartate.
So there is a distinction which is being made between what is Atma and what is Anatma. Atma is something which is that Nitya, Shuddha, Buddha, Mukta, which is totally untouched by all these things. And then the Drushya. Drushya means whatever is seen is Drushya. And this Drushya, which is the body-mind complex, this Drushya has got certain dharmas because this is a creation of the body. This is a creation of the Prakriti. Prakriti means that Trigunatmika. Trigunatmika means Sattva, Rajas, Tamas. A combination of all these Sattva, Rajas and Tamas is what has created this say variegated universe. We see so much of variety in the universe. Somebody having a particular frame of mind, another man having another frame of mind, one particular object having a particular quality, another object having some other quality. So all this diversity is because of say this interaction or intermingling of this sattva, rajas or tamo guna in different proportions in all these things, whatever exists. And then we are going to see there is nothing in the universe which is not made of these three elements. There is nothing in the universe, either sentient or insentient, which is not made of these three gunas. So that is what we are going to see. Natadasti pruthivyam tat yet na yebhi tribhir gunaihi. Some such sloka is we are going to read, where it says that there is absolutely nothing in the universe which is not made of these three gunas. So these three gunas make the human body also. So but then Atma is something which is different. Then the shloka says, na kartrutvam na karmani lokasya srujati prabhuhu. Prabhuhu here means Atma. Prabhu vyapitvat Atma. Prabhu means one who is a lord. One who is a lord means he has got a vast jurisdiction, isn't it? Prabhu, what is the meaning of Prabhu? Prabhu means a king, a lord. He is a man who has got a vast jurisdiction. Here, so Prabhu means that is Vyapi. Vyapi means that which is all pervading, the all pervading Atman. So that is the thing. Na kartrutvam srujati. So it does not create any doership. Then na karmani. It does not create all these objects. Karma here, it is not, the meaning given is not objects. It is not karma, actions. The meaning given is actions. Objects. The meaning given here is objects, various objects. Then all these objects, there is an enjoyer and all the enjoyed. There is an enjoyer means this body-mind complex is the enjoyer. The other, all various objects like various material things which we see, they are all the say objects of enjoyment. So all these things, na srujati prabhuhu. The Lord is not creating all these things. Lord is not saying, okay, this is all created for you, you enjoy. It's not like that. What is the meaning of this loka? Loka, the meaning here is, you can take it as people. But one meaning given by Madhusudana Saraswati is, lokasya, he says, dehadehe, dehadi. Loka means, he is taking the etymological meaning of this word loka. What is the etymological meaning? We have seen earlier also, I think in say Upanishad Bhashya, we have seen lokyate iti lokaha. Lokyate means that which is seen. That which is seen is a loka. That which is a drushyam, that is a loka. So the loka is basically just a state of experience. It is a state of experience that is called loka. Lokyante iti janmani, that one meaning also is given. So that loka means it is a deha, this body-mind complex. It is, this Atma is not creating any kartrutva nor any objects of enjoyment for this thing. Na kartrutvam na karmani lokasya, that is for the body-mind complex. Na srujati prabhuhu, this Prabhu, this all-pervading Atman is not creating all these things for the body. Then similarly, When kartrutvam itself is not there, naturally the karma phala sanyoga is also not there. Na karma phala sanyogam svabhavastu pravartate. Strictly speaking, this karma phala sanyoga also is not there. But then svabhavaha tu means on the other hand, tu svabhavaha pravartate. Svabhava is what? Svabhava is that prakriti, that is maya. That is what is pravartate, means that is what is active. That is what is making it appear as though there is a lot of things happening. Somebody is a karta, somebody is a karayita, some action is taking place. This is an enjoyer and that is the enjoyed. So all this diversity is appearing only because of this svabhava, only because of this prakriti. So that is the meaning. Karma phala sanyogam is karma phalena saha sanyoga, that is association with karma phala. Karma phala, we know, the fruit of action, the attachment with the fruit of action. All these things, they are not there for the Atma. So that is it. That is what it says. Na kartrutvam swataha kuru iti napi karmani. So here you see karma, for the word karma he says ratha ghata prasadadini ipsita tamani lokasya srujati utpadayati prabhuhu atma napi rathadi krutavataha tat phalena sanyogam na karma phala sanyogam. Okay. Na kartrutvam. Kartrutvam is you do. Swataha kuru. Kuru means you please do this. You have to do this. There is no such direction. Kuru means you do. That is a direction, an order. There is no such order. Napi karmani. What are these karmas? Ratha, ghata, prasada, adini. Ratha means a chariot. Of course, olden days chariot. Now you means a car. Ratha, ghata. Ghata means an object, any object. Ghata actually means some object, some sort of ghata literally means a vessel. But here any object. Then prasada, adini. Prasada means a building. Adi. So a house, some utensils, some say household objects, and then say vehicles, and all these things, material wealth, whatever material wealth we count, all these things, the God has not. God means the Brahman. We should not loosely use the word God. We should use the word Atma only. God may mean totally different thing. So Atma or Brahman, it has not created, it has not assigned all these things like this. Lokasya. Shankaracharya, of course, he has not given the meaning of lokasya, but then other people have given the meaning. Lokasya, Madhusudana Saraswati says, Deha Dehe Kartrutvam Prabhu Atma Nasrujati, he says. So lokasya Nasrujati na utpadayati. Prabhu Atma. Prabhu means, the meaning is Vyapitvat Atma. Vyapitvat means because he is a Sarva Vyapi. Vyapi means all pervading, all pervading. Then Napi Rathadi Krutavataha. Having created all this ratha and all these objects of enjoyment, tat phalena saha sanyogam. Then he has also not created all these things. Then why is it that we are after all these things? We are going to see in the next shloka that it is all because of our own ajnana. We get deluded, and this Atma identifies itself with the Dehatma, Deha. The Atma identifies with this body-mind complex and feels that he is the enjoyer, and then there are so many objects of enjoyment. So that is what we are going to see in the next shloka. Then na karma phala sanyogam, no attachment with all these things. Then yadi kinchidapi svato na karoti na karayati cha dehi kastarhi kurvan karayanscha pravartate ityuchyate. So a question is posing to himself, yadi kinchidapi svataha na karoti. So if you say that by itself, svataha means by itself, na karoti, na kinchidapi karoti, it does not do anything, then na karayati, it is not directing somebody to do it also. Cha, karayati cha, who? Dehi. Dehi means the embodied self. Dehi means dehamasya iti dehi. The embodied self. What is it? That Atma. The Atma which appears to be in the body. When you say that it by itself it is not doing anything nor directing anything, then who else is doing it? Kaha tarhi. Tarhi means then in such a case. Kas tarhi means who in that case. Kas tarhi is who in that case. Kurvan karayansya pravartate. Who is it that is doing? Then Swabhavastu,
Swabhavastu,
Svobhavah Swabhavah,
Swabhavah, Swabhavah,
Avidya Lakshana,
Avidya Lakshana,
Prakrutihi Maya,
Prakritihi Maya,
Pravartate,
Pravartate,
Daivihi,
Daivihi,
Ityadina Vakshyamana.
Ityadina Vakshyamana.
Then who else? So that was the question. Then the answer is Swabhavaha tu. Tu means on the other hand, what is it that is, which is active, which appears to be active? Swabhavaha. What is that Swabhavaha? Swaha bhavaha swabhavaha. That which is responsible for its own existence. Bhava means coming into being. Swaha bhavaha. Bhava is existence, to be. In the English, be is the same as Sanskritam bhu, bhu dhatu. It is the bhu dhatu, which appears as be. So bhavaha, that is coming into being. What is it that is responsible for coming into being? It is the combination of all this Prakriti. This Prakriti only has contributed to this so-called microcosm. Prakriti is the macrocosm and it has contributed for the creation of this microcosm, isn't it? Swabhavaha, what is this? Avidya Lakshana Prakritihi. Avidya does not mean total ignorance or anything. Avidya is seeing something at the other. You are seeing Prakriti as that Brahman. So Avidya, Prakriti as the reality. Then Avidya Lakshana Prakritihi Maya Pravartate. This Prakriti or Maya. Then he is also giving one quotation from this the same Bhagavad Gita. Daivihi. Daivihi is the 7th chapter. This is 14th shloka. Okay. That shloka says Daivi Hyesha Gunamayi Mama Maya Duratyaya. Mama Maya, my Maya is Duratyaya. It is very difficult to transcend. Daivi Hi Esha Gunamayi. Daivi Maya, this my Maya, which is Duratyaya, which is very difficult to get over, which is very difficult to cross over. So that is what Krishna is going to say. This Maya is something which is an appearance in Brahman itself. We know that this Maya is nothing. That is why he says Mama Maya. Mama Maya means, it is not Krishna's Maya. It is not as though Krishna is doing some magic and whatnot. when Lord Krishna says Mama Maya Duratyaya, I am doing some magic, you can't get over that. He is not saying that. Whenever Lord Krishna says I, whenever he refers to as I, we have to take it as the Supreme Brahman. So that Supreme Brahman, which is Avikari, Asanga, that sort of Brahman is something which has nothing to do. This Maya or Prakriti is an appearance in that, and then that Brahman itself it is no Kartrutva, no Karayitrutva. That is the main point. That is why he is quoting that line. Daivi Hyesha Gunamayi. So this Svabhava, this is what is Pravartate. This is what is active. This is what is seen. Then Swabha Ityadina Vakshyamana. Vakshyamana means that which is going to be told. It is a future tense. That which is going to be told. Okay, let us read the next shloka. Paramarthatastu.
Paramarthatastu.
Paramarthataha means that is in the absolute sense. In a normal sense, okay. Normal sense, okay, it all appears. There is a world, there is an activity, there is a human being, there is an agent, there is a doer, there is a doership. Then there is somebody who is provoking somebody else to do something. All these things are there at the Vyavahara level. Paramarthataha. In reality, at the absolute level, from the absolute point of view, what is the truth? Then let us read this shloka. Nadatte kasyachit papam
Nadatte kasyachit papam
nachaiva sukrutam vibhuhu
Nachaiva sukrutam vibhuhu
ajnanena avrutam jnanam
Ajnanena avrutam jnanam
tena muhyanti jantavaha. So this is one shloka which has to be understood by us in a rather clear way, because this makes a very, very dangerous statement. What is it? Na adatte kasyachit papam. Kasyachit, of anyone, papam, anyone's sin or papam, bad deeds. Papam is the phalam which you get because of some evil deed. You do some evil deed. There is some negative, say what we call demerit, which accrues to that, and that demerit is there in your deposit. That is there in your deposit, and it will give phalam at some other point of time. So that sort of deposit which is there in your account and which is which is going to fructify, not likely, it is sure, definitely to fructify at a later date, that is called papam. some merit or good work, a result of a good work which you have done, and then which is going to give fruit, it is called punyam. So this is, the statement here is, na adatte kasyachit papam nachaiva sukrutam vibhuhu. Vibhuhu again is the subject matter here. Earlier sloka also that vibhu, prabhu word was used. Here also he says vibhu. Vibhu and prabhu are one and the same. That is vyapaka, nishkriyaha, atma. So that is it. So this vibhu is the subject matter here. So what does it do? He does not take, na adatte kasyachit papam. He does not take away anybody's sins. He does not take away anybody's bad account. And then nachaiva sukrutam vibhuhu. Sukrutam means punyam. He is not bothered about your punya also. Nachaiva sukrutam vibhuhu ajnanena avrutam jnanam. Ajnanena, by ignorance. Avrutam jnanam. Jnanam means Brahma Jnanam, let us say the real Jnanam, that I am the Brahman, that sort of Jnanam is shrouded by, it is covered by Ajnana. Because we are all identifying with the body-mind complex, that is Ajnana. Identification with the body-mind complex is Ajnana. And that is actually shrouding or clouding your, say, Jnanam. Then, Tena Muhyanti Jantavaha. So, by that Ajnana, all people get deluded. Jantavaha means all the things which are born. Jani pradurbhave is the root. Jani means to be born. Jantavaha means not animals. Here we should not say Jantu does not mean animal. Jantavaha means people. All things which are born, right from an ant to elephant. All things which are called, all things are called Jantavaha only, including the human being. So this is a rather perplexing statement, isn't it? We go to God. We feel that God is taking away our sins, and now in the modern world, if we see, there is such a great competition among religions. You must have seen, there is a great competition among religions. You go to a village, in India, in any Indian village you go, there are people who say, my God is taking away all your sins. You are a sinner. My God is going to take away all your sins. So it is something like a sort of salesmanship which is going on. All religions are saying this, particularly the religions which are say so eagerly trying to convert everybody into their own religion. So that is again another type of madness. It is a type of madness which is actually going on. They are trying to convert everybody into your own religion. So that is what we are seeing. When religion says, my God takes away all your sins, you do anything and then you come to me, say that he will take away the sins. And then nachaiva sukrutam vibhuhu. On the other hand, it is also says, even if you do punya, the God is not bothered. Then ajnanena avrutam jnanam. Then what is this ajnana? Ajnana is again this delusion. Avrutam jnanam tena muhyanti jantavaha. So this is a question thing which we have to properly understand, because we are likely to misunderstand. We are likely to misunderstand this shloka if we don't read the bhashyam properly. Then you see what exactly is it? Na adatte kasyachit papam. Even if you are a devotee, even if you are a great devotee, it is not going to take away. Nachaiva sukrutam vibhuhu. Sukrutam is, even if somebody is doing with an Ishwararpana buddhi, even that Ishwararpana buddhi does not mean you are giving your punyam to Ishvara. Even that is not going to take. So what is the meaning here? So we are talking at two different levels. Religion is talking at the level of Vyavaharika Satta. Religion is talking at the level of Maya, isn't it? Religion is basically talking at the level of Prakriti, accepting or conceding that there is a human being, conceding that he is doing some good work, conceding that he has to do something, conceding that the good work is giving him some punyam, bad work is giving him some papam, conceding that this man is going to transmigrate and whatnot. So all these things at a Vyavaharika level, the religion is teaching, isn't it? At a Vyavaharika level, all this religion and all the worship are at Vyavaharika level. When you go to God, when you go to a temple, and then when you are worshipping, it is at a Vyavaharika level only. At Paramarthika level, at the very ultimate absolute level, what is the Upanishad saying? The Upanishad says, you are a fool. What does it say? Anyosa vanyohamasmeti What is that line? This line also it is quoted here in the Bhashyam. Yo anyam devatam upaste anyosa vanyohamasmiti. Yaha anyam devatam anyam matva upaste. So whoever worships the God, thinking that God is different and I am different. Anyaha asau, anyaha aham, anyosa vanyohamasmiti. That is anyaha asau. Asau means he is different. Anyaha aham, anyosa vanyohamasmiti. Anyaha aham means I am different, he is different, God is different, I am different, I am a small fellow, God is a big man. So this sort of dainyam, aho aham dinaha, dukhi asmi iti mukhyati. So this man is deluded, thinking that I am a sinner, I am such a petty fellow, and God is something, God is there to save me, God has to save me. This is a foolish thing. That is at the absolute level. That is what Upanishad says. You are the Brahman. That is what this Upanishad says. Brahman says you are nothing but that supreme consciousness is nothing. You are not different from that supreme consciousness. Actually you are that. Your basic nature is that. So that is what it says. Anyaha asau anyoham asmiti na sa veda. Na sa veda means he does not know. Sa means he. Na veda, he does not know. Yatha pashuhu evam sa devanam. Satha yatha pashuhu eva sa devanam. Sa devanam krute pashuhu. And that means he is something like a pashu for devas. He is like a pashu means what is a pashu? Badhyate iti pashu. Pashu is pasha. Pasha means a rope which is used to tie an animal. Pashu is something which is tied by that rope. So you are like a sort of bonded labor or a bonded servant for that deity. So that it is at that absolute level. So we have to understand this shloka at a different level. Here we are talking about the Brahma, this Brahma Guna, and not at the level of religion. So if we mistake it at the level of religion, because we also say you worship Lord, say Venkateshwara, he will fulfill all your boons. You worship so and so Shiva Panchakshari, you do this Japam, you will get this. Or Narayana Mantram you do and then you will get this. So we also say it is not only other religions which say, but then other religions, they make a business of doing it. They make a business means for them it is their, it is a great mission for them. It is a great mission. They have to jolly well convert all others. We don't have any such mission. We will only say, if you go to a Swami, that Swami will give you a mantra. Otherwise that Swami will not come, and then he is not on a mission to convert everybody. So that is the difference. So at the level of religion, we also say, okay, you worship deity. He is going to give you say some punyam. So all these things we also say. But then really what Upanishad says or what Gita says is, it is all at a vyavaharika level. It is at the level of Maya. It is all in the realm of Maya that you are operating. All this thing about God and then all this thing about worship, etc. All this is in the realm of Maya. You try to get over that Maya. You try to come above all that. It does not mean that you should become an atheist or agnostic or anything. You have your deity. You have your God form. In that supreme consciousness, you visualize your own God form. And then you keep on meditating on that. You try to be that. So when you say that upasana, what is that upasana? Upasana means not as though, say, aham graha upasana, that is one type of upasana. That is, you try to be that. And then ultimately you try to be Brahman. You get over that also and be Brahman. Initially, your human mind may not be able to comprehend the Brahman. So that is why you are visualizing some Saguna form. You are visualizing a smaller form. You are visualizing that something, some Ganesha, some Vishnu, some Rudra or something like that you are visualizing, and then you are doing Upasana. So Upasana means you are supposed to become that Upasya Devata. You are supposed to graduate to that level. And from that level, you are becoming, even that you overcome, and then you become Brahman. So that is what is the Upanishad says, isn't it? So this line is quite often quoted in various Vedanta books. What is that line? Anyo anyam devatam upaste anyosa vanyohamasmiti nasa veda yatha pashuhu evam sa devanam. So he is bound to gods like a pashu. He is bound to gods like a sort of animal, a bonded animal. So that is that background we have to see while we understand this shloka. So na adatte kasyachit papam na chaiva sukrutam vibhuhu. Vibhuhu again is vyapakatvat. Vibhuhu is that supreme Brahman, because the all pervading infinite satyam jnanam anantam, that ananta aspect is here. Then ajnanena avrutam jnanam. Ajnanam is this, all this is because of Maya. That is because of this Prakriti. Prakriti means Trigunatmika. All this creation is because of the interaction of these three gunas. And all this, the body is nothing but a Kshetra. We are also going to see one word, you see here one word called Kshetra. Kshetra means a field. Field is something not you. When I say I am going to my field, you are not the field. So this is my field, suppose I say. I will show you my farmland and I will tell you this is my field. My field does not mean that I am that field. I am going to do something in that field. I am going to cultivate in that field. So some work is, the field is not me. Field is something different, isn't it? So all this is called Kshetra. This human body is a Kshetra. So that is, that if you don't have that feeling, that is what is called Ajnana. When you are not able to see it as different, when you are not able to see it as a Kshetra, that is Ajnana. So by that Ajnana, your Jnanam is say shrouded or clouded. Jnanam here means the awareness that I am that supreme Brahman. Aham Brahmasmi, that supreme Brahman, that feeling, that understanding is shrouded. Then Tena Muhyanti Jantavaha. Because of that, Jantavaha, all the people who are born, they are Muhyanti. Muhyanti means they are deluded. How? Anyosa Vanyohamasmi. I am different, God is different, so God will take away my sins. So this sort of delusion is there because say this sort of ignorance is there. This sort of say wrong perception is there. So let us read the Bhashyam. Na adatte na cha grunhati bhaktasyapi kasyachit papam na chaiva adatte sukrutam bhaktaihi prayuktam vibhuhu. So okay, he says na adatte, he says na grunhati. He is not, God is not taking away your sins. Sins means not even punyam also. That is what he is specifically saying. Bhaktasyapi kasyachit papam. It is at the higher level. Because Shankaracharya is again saying Paramartha tastu, at the Paramartha level, not at a Vyavahara level. Vyavahara level, you go to a temple, you worship deity, all that is for your Chitta Shuddhi, and that is why Vedanta is not told to everybody. Now you understand, once you read this shloka, you have to understand why Vedanta is not told to everybody. If you read one book called Vedanta Sara, Vedanta Sara is one of the fundamental Prakarana Grandhas of Vedanta. So there, the Adhikari means the eligible, the person eligible to read Vedanta is defined there. Adhikari is defined, a very long definition is there, I don't remember it completely. Adhikari tu vidhivad adhita veda vedangatvena. So he has studied the Veda and Vedanga in a vidhivat means in a proper way. And then Nitanta Nirmala Swantaha. So his mind has become Swantaha means Antahkarana has become Nitanta Nirmala, extremely Nirmala, extremely pure. Because of that, his mind has become extremely pure. There is some more things which I forget. Adhikari tu vidhivad adhita veda vedangatvena. Then asmin janmani janmantareva, something is there. Okay, Nitanta Nirmala Swantaha Sadhana Chatushtaya Sampannaha Adhikari. Sadhana Chatushtaya Sampanna. He has already done this Viveka. Sadhana Chatushtayam we know. Sadhana Chatushtayam is this fourfold strategy. What is that? Number one is Sadhana Chatushtaya we should not forget. No, that Shamadama is third one. First is Viveka, Nitya, Anitya, Vastu, Viveka. That is the discrimination of what is correct and what is wrong, what is ephemeral and what is permanent. And that Viveka leads you to Vairagya. Vairagya is Iha, Amutra, Phala, Bhoga, Viragaha. Say either for this worldly thing or for the other worldly thing. The third thing is Shama, Damadi, Shatka, Sampatti. All these things are essential. And all these things are there, but suppose Mokshecha is not there. So that is why the fourth one is mumutshutvam. So this is the four level say spiritual exercise which one has to undergo. This four tier, let us say, 4 tier spiritual exercise which one has to undergo. So for such a man only Vedanta was told, because Vedanta says your God is not going to take away your sins. So if you tell this to ordinary man, then he will say, okay, to go to hell, I will go to another religion, he says, isn't it? So that is why Vedanta we have to very carefully read, because it talks at 2 levels, one at a practical in the sense Vyavahara level, and one at a higher level. So we are now talking at a higher level. We are talking about the Brahman who is untouched by all these things. We are not talking about Venkateswara or Lord Vishnu or some other god. Okay, because this we have to see, because this sloka can be misinterpreted by anybody. Then there is another sloka in the 18th chapter. 18th chapter, what does it say? At the end of this all the discussion, Lord Krishna says, Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja. You forget about all things. Sarva dharman parityajya. You forget about all things and then you follow me. Aham tva sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami mashucha. Aham tva sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami. That is, I am going to deliver you from all papams. So he says, and here it is said, na adatte kasyachit papam. Then there he says, I am going to deliver you from all that thing. What is the difference? Here the word used is na adatte. Adatte means na adadati. He does not take away. There the word is aham tva sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami. Moksha means that is liberation, freedom from all that. Freedom because God is not taking away your burden. He is educating you how to get rid of that burden. Aham tva sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami. It is as though you are carrying a huge luggage. So the God has to tell you how to reduce your burden. Either God has to take away your luggage, or God has to tell you some tricks as to how to get rid of your luggage. What Vedanta says is, God is not going to take away your luggage. He is not your beast of burden. You keep on committing sins and then God will take away your sins. It is not like that. He is not your beast of burden. Beast of burden, a donkey. God is not a donkey to take away all the sins of all people. So it said God will only tell you, He will give you some jnanam. He will give you jnanam so that you know how to get rid of it. He will tell you about karma yoga. By doing karma yoga, at least in this janma, you will not going to add burden. Some previous burden may be there. That previous burden you have to get rid of by some chitta shuddhi, some upasana and all these things. That upasana will give you, enlighten means it will lighten you more. And then ultimately you come into that jnana path. Once you know that you are that Supreme Brahman, then that burden will go away. All that burden will go away. So that is what God does. God means that Supreme Brahman. There is no kartrutva, but then in a metaphorical way it is said. So God is going to give you knowledge only, and it is not, He is not literally taking away your burden. You follow that?
Yes.
You remember the example of a man carrying a burden. So God is not taking away your burden, but He is telling you some tricks as to how to get rid of that burden. So that is why for that 18th shloka, then they say it is Shankaracharya's bhashyam is Swatma Bhava Prakasha Karanena. Mokshayishyami, for the word Mokshayishyami, Shankaracharya says, you can see that shloka also, 18th shloka. If you take 18th shloka, not 18th shloka, 18th chapter, 66th shloka, 66th shloka, somewhere at the end, he says, Swatma Bhava Prakasha Karanena. I am going to tell you what is your Atma. Swatma Bhava. Swatma is your own self. What is your own self? Swatma Bhava. Aham Tvam Sarvameva Nishita Buddhim Sarva Papebhya Sarva Dharma Bandhanebhya Mokshayishyami. Yeah. In the very beginning it is there. Dharma Shabdena Adharma Api Gruhyate. Sarva papebhya mokshayishyami. Swatma bhava prakashi karanena. Have you got it?
सर्वधर्मान् परित्यज्य
Same. Charanam Raja, Aham Tva Sarvapapebhyo Mokshayishyami Masuchaha. Under that, you see that Sarva Papebhyaha Sarva Dharma Bandhana Rupebhyaha. So, Papa is a Bandhanam. Dharmam also is a Bandhanam. Sarva Dharma Adharma Rupa Bandhana, what is this? Dharma Bandhana Rupebhyaha. Both Dharmam is a Bandhanam, Adharmam also is a Bandhanam. So, Mokshayishyami Masuchaha. So, I am going to deliver you from all that. So, that is it. So, it does not mean that you should stop going to a temple, you should stop doing all good things and all that. That is, as long as you are in this, realm of, this Prakriti, we are supposed to do these things. We are supposed to follow a good path, we are supposed to follow Dharma, we are supposed to do Karma Yoga, we are supposed to do all dharmic deeds. So, all these things are there. But at a higher level, this is what it means. So, God or Brahman, whatever it is going to give, He is going to give you jnana. That in fact, I will give you jnana only. That is what Gita also says in some other context also. So, God will only give you jnana, and with that jnanam, you are going to throw away your burden. So, that is it. You are the architect of your own fortune. Man is the architect of his own fortune. God is not going to take away all your activities. So that is what it means. You are having the free will to do. You are having the free will to acquire, come on to the jnana path and acquire jnanam. So that is what it means. So here, Nachaiva adatte sukrutam. Did we read this line? Yeah. Bhaktasyapi kasyachit papam. Nachaiva adatte sukrutam bhaktaihi prayuktam vibhuhu. Even if you are a great devotee, your sukrutam also he is not bothered about it. Then the same question Shankaracharya is putting. Kimartham tarhi bhaktaihi pujadi lakshanam yaga dana homadikam cha sukrutam prayujyate ityaha. So, the same question which we discussed, then why should I do puja to God? I need not do anything. Puja adilakshanam, yaga, dana, homadikam, yagam, danam, homam, all these things, why should I do? So, that is, what Vedanta says is, at a paramartha level, okay, you are in that Advaya level. But at a Vyavahara level, you are supposed to do dharma. You are supposed to do all the, you are supposed to follow all the social norms. That is it. There is one beautiful sloka from Yoga Vasishta. Yoga Vasishta, that sloka is Bhavadvaitam prakurvita kriyadvaitam nakarayat. Bhavadvaitam and kriyadvaitam are two words which are very, you can note down very important words. Bhavadvaitam and kriyadvaitam. Bhavadvaitam is that jnana nishtha, let us say. In simple terms, it is jnana nishtha. That is awareness that you are, that aham brahmasmi stage, that realized stage, let us say. Realized state of mind is that bhavadvaitam. So, at that level, you are in that level. While doing also, we read in the earlier shloka, what is that? Pashyan, Shronvan, Sprushan, Jigran, Ashnan, Gachan, Swapan, Shwasan. While doing all these things, you are constantly having that idea that you are not the doer. Naiva kinchit karomiti yukto manyeta tattvavid. That is bhavadvaitam. And at the same time, you should not be, you should not abandon all your activities. Kriyadvaitam na karhichit, it says. Bhavadvaitam prakurvita, kriyadvaitam na karhichit. In action, in reality, when you are in this world, you are supposed to do action. You are supposed to do for the, Loka Sangraha. That is what Gita also said. So, various things which have been told by Gita, we have to see, we have to harmonize. We have to see at what level earlier one has been told and what level this statement is being told. So, this statement is being told at the level of Paramartha, at the level of absolute, the absolute point of, from the absolute point of view, this is told. So, this bhavadvaitam prakurveda, kriyadvaitam na karhichit. So, in real life also, you should not say, okay, everything is Maya, everything is, I need not do anything. This type of activity, this akarma, there is another shloka which we also saw in the second thing, say you don't become inactive also. That is what he said. What is that line? That line is, okay, Mate sangostu akarmani. Mate sangaha astu akarmani. Do not become inactive. Don't think that, okay, by doing akarma, I am going to get moksha. Akarma is not going to lead you moksha, because akarma also is a type of action. So that is what it means. So here, okay, let us read this. Ajnanena avrutam jnanam viveka vijnanam tena muhyanti karomi karayami bhokshye bhojayami ityevam moham gachanti avivekinah samsarino jantavaha. Okay, all these things. Ajnanena avrutam jnanam. Jnana means, what is the meaning given for jnanam? Viveka vijnanam. Viveka vijnanam is that eligibility for discrimination. That thing has been shrouded, that thing has been clouded rather, clouded or shrouded or covered, it is covered by ajnana. Because of that, tena mukhyanti, they have all this wrong perception. Okay, I am doing this, I am doing that, I am aham karomi, aham karayami, I am doing, aham karayami, I am directing somebody else to do, bhokshye bhojayami, I am eating, I am making some, giving food to somebody, ityevam moham gachanti avivekinah, those who do not have this discrimination, samsarinaha jantavaha, those people, all the people who are in that transmigration cycle. When we see samsari, not somebody with some house, children, etc. Samsari means somebody who is in the transmigrating mode. Then this shloka, is it okay for you?
Yes.
Because this... okay, then let us read the next one. Next shloka. Jnanena tu tadajnanam yesham nashitamatmanah tesham adityavat jnanam prakashayati tatparam. So we have seen in the earlier shloka that jnana is something, jnana alone is going to take away your burden. It is not God who is going to take away your burden. It is knowledge, it is jnanam, it is self-knowledge which is going to take away that burden. So that is it. Jnanena tu tad ajnanam yesham nashitam atmanah. Atmanah ajnanam yesham nashitam. That is, for those whose ignorance about their own self has been destroyed by this viveka vijnana. For those whose ignorance has been destroyed, ignorance about their own self, atmanah ajnanam, that is about their own self, there is ignorance. And that ignorance has to be destroyed by viveka vijnana, by proper discrimination. So that is what it says. This viveka vijnana is again a sort of buddhi vritti only, isn't it? Viveka vijnana also is a buddhi vritti, it is a mental faculty. So that means you are supposed to deliberate, you are supposed to do shravanam, you are supposed to do mananam. Mananam is a buddhi vritti, nididhyasanam is a buddhi vritti. Ultimately, this buddhi vritti only is leading you to that jnanam. Buddhi vritti only is leading you to that jnanam. The mind itself is the only tool in order to overcome the mind, isn't it? Manasaiva anudrashtavyam. Manasaiva anudrashtavyam. That is, mind is the only tool you have. Manayeva manushyanam karanam bandha mokshayoho. Either for bondage or for liberation, mind is the only tool. So that is what we have to remember. So jnanena tat ajnanam yesham nasitam. That is for those say in whose case this ajnana has been destroyed. Those for whom this ajnana has been destroyed, what will happen to them? Tesham, for those people, adityavat jnanam prakashayati tatparam. This awareness, it unfolds, it dawns on them. Jnanam prakashayati. This jnanam, that the Vedanta says tattvamasi, and this man has to realize aham brahmasmi. So that will dawn on him, that jnana will dawn on him once that ajnana has been removed by proper viveka. So that is it. So the essential thing is you have to do viveka, and that viveka is vivekam is thinking. Shravana, manana, nididhyasana, that is the process of that viveka. So because of that analysis of the self, You are going to destroy your, say, ignorance about your own self. So, let us read this, see this shloka. Jnanena tu tat ajnanam, that particular ajnana. Yesham means for those for whom. Yesham means those for whom. Atmanaha ajnanam nashitam. Those for whom this ignorance of their own self. Atmanaha means about this Atma, about this their own self. Yesham nashitam, those for whom it is destroyed. By what? By jnana, by this jnanam. Jnanena. Jnanena is tritiya vibhakti. By this jnanam, this ajnana has been destroyed. Tesham, for those people. Then adityavat. Aditya means Surya. Adityavat means like this sun's ray, sun's light, like the sunlight. This jnana unfolds. Like sunlight, this jnanam, this awareness, understanding that one he is aham brahmasmi, that unfolds for such a man. Adityavat jnanam prakashayati. This jnanam prakashayati, it unfolds, it shines. Prakasha is shining, isn't it? Yeah. That prakashayati, tat param, that supreme thing is illumined. That supreme thing is, that vision, it occurs in front of him. So that is the meaning here. Then jnanena tu yena ajnanena avrutaha muhyanti jantavaha tad ajnanam yesham jantunam viveka jnanena atma vishayena nashitam atmanaha bhavati. So this is the first line. Jnanena tu yena ajnanena avrutaha muhyanti jantavaha. That is, people say who are deluded by this ajnana. And then yena ajnanena avrutaha, covered by which ajnana, these jantavaha, all these people, muhyanti means they get deluded. Then yesham jantunam, and for whom viveka vijnanena, by this proper discrimination, atma vishayena, that is atma vishayena means this the discrimination relating to atma. Atma vishayena means atma, where the subject matter is atma, that is you are contemplating on the atma, you are doing this discrimination on the atma. And for such people this ajnana is nashitam atmanaha bhavati, that atmanaha jnanam nashitam bhavati means for them that their ignorance gets destroyed. Tesham, for those people, adityavat, yatha adityaha, let us read, yatha adityaha,
we have to start from here.
Tesham adityavat yatha adityaha samasta rupajatam avabhasayati tadvat jnanam jneyam cha vastu sarvam prakashayati tat paramartha tattvam. So he says, Tesham, for those people, adityavat, that is like the sunlight, adityavat, yatha adityaha samastam rupajatam avabhasayati. Just as the sunlight illumines everything, just as the sunlight throws light, the sun throws light on everything which is there. Tadvat, likewise. Tadvat means likewise. Jnanam, gneyam cha gneyam vastu sarvam prakashayati. Jnanam, gneyam vastu sarvam prakashayati. Cha is your book having cha? Jnanam, gneyam cha vastu.
No, cha is not.
Oh, cha should not be there. My book is having cha. Jnanam, gneyam vastu sarvam prakashayati. This jnanam is going to illumine everything which you are, everything which is there. That means you are seeing things in the proper perspective. You are not getting deluded. You are seeing things in a proper perspective. So that is what it means. Tat param, that is paramartha tattvam. Is this shloka okay? So this shloka, the anvaya is slightly difficult in this. I explained. Tesham means for them, adityavat, like Surya. Jnanam, jnanam means that awareness that I am the Supreme Brahman. Prakashayati tatparam. That is going to keep everything. That is going to give proper understanding of everything. Then let us read the next shloka. Tad buddhayaha. Or we can read the whole thing. Tad buddhayas tadatmanaha. Tannishthas tatparayanaha.
तन्निष्ठास्तत्परायणाः
गच्छन्त्यपुनरावृत्तिं पुनरावृत्तिं गच्छन्त्यपुनरावृत्तिं ज्ञाननिर्धूतकल्मषाः. So here again, this is again continuing in the same vein, that is tad buddhayaha tadatmanaha tannishtaha tatparayanaha. That is earlier in the earlier shloka we were seeing what a jnani is. A jnani, because of that viveka vijnana, all this delusion has been driven, all the delusion is driven away, and then once the delusion is driven away, he is continuing to be in that state of mind. This gentleman, he is okay say once he understands and then comes back to say his daily routine, forget about all that, not like that. He is in that state of mind. He realizes that that is the supreme path. He internalizes it. There is an understanding. That understanding happens to you at the intellectual level first. So once that understanding happens at an intellectual level, then you have to slowly internalize. Internalize means you have to live it. When somebody says you are a Brahman, you have to live it, isn't it? Live it means you have to live like that. You have to live like that means like just as Brahman is avikari, just as Brahman is asanga, you should also be like that. So earlier during the sadhana dasha, that sadhana dasha is different. This is totally different. That sadhana dasha is over because all that vichara has already been done. Once that sadhana dasha is over and once you attain this jnanam, then you have to internalize means you automatically you live. That becomes your very nature. There is no need to say again. Then again, tannishtaha, you have to be in that nishtha only, and then you have to realize that that is the supreme path, that is the only path. Such people, gachanti apunaravrittim jnana nirdhuta kalmashaha. There are four words which are used in the first line. Tad buddhayaha. Tat means that means jnanam. Tad buddhayaha. That is, you have to always have your mind on that only, on that jnanam only. Tad buddhayaha. One who is having that mind, his mind fixed on that jnanam, he is called tad buddhi. Tad buddhayaha is the plural. Tad buddhihi is the singular. Tad buddhayaha is the plural. Tad atmanaha. That is my atma. When I feel like that, I am tadatma. Tadatma means that is my atma. Tadatma. Then that plural for that is tadatmanaha. Tad buddhayaha tadatmanaha. Those whose mind is fixed to that, those who realize that it is their own self, those who realize that jnanam is their own self. Jnanam is, in other words, Brahma. That Brahman is their own self. Then tannishtaha. And then tasminneva nishtha. Their own avasthanam. They are always in that state of mind. They are not coming back and then they are not digressing from that. They are in that state of mind. Whatever action they do, they are in that state of mind. Then tat parayanaha. This word parayana earlier also I explained. Para plus ayana. Ayanam means what? Ayanam means margam. Ramayanam. Rama plus ayanam. Rama's path. That is Rama's way of life, let us say. Rama plus ayanam, like that. What are the other words? Ramayanam, like that. Para plus ayanam, that is the supreme path. Para plus ayanam. This parayanasya bhavaha eva parayanam. Oh, this is this parayanam. I am doing Ramayana parayanam, let us say. Parayanam means I am considering, I am holding that this is something which is supreme. This is the supreme path. And that feeling, parayanasya bhavaha. So that feeling that this is the supreme path is parayanam. Gita parayanam, let us say. Gita parayanam means I hold that Gita is something which is telling us some supreme truth. And then I read it. So that feeling is parayanam. That action is called parayanam. So tat parayana means those who hold that this is the supreme path. So tad buddhayaha, those who are intellectually at the intellectual level they are thinking. Tad atmanaha. Tad buddhi means at a paroksha level. Paroksha is indirect level. Indirectly you are knowing that is the knowledge. Aparoksha jnanam is one word which you see, tadatmana, that is aparoksha level. There you have internalized aparoksha jnanam. Then tannishtaha, that is anusandhanam. Always you are doing that anusandhanam. There is one word called anusandhanam, which is a beautiful word. Anusandhanam is you are always reminding yourself, you are always in that state of mind. You are always that path of viveka you have never abandoned. So that is called anusandhanam. So tan nishta, you are in that thing. Then tat parayana, and then you are also, if you are reveling in that. Tad ratihi, you are reveling in that, you are happy with that, you are really enjoying that state. That is called, what is called parayana. When you say that you are doing some parayanam, you are really enjoying it. So that is the meaning of the first line. Such people gachanti apunaravrittim. Apunaravritti. We have seen this word earlier. Punaha avritti. Avritti means return. Punaha avritti. Punaha avartanam. That is coming back to this life. You do some punyam and go to Swarga. There is a punaravritti. You do some other punyam and go to some loka. There is, from that loka means a state of mind, a state of experience. From that state of experience you come back, isn't it? So this punaravritti is there, but then from this jnana, and then that too when you are stable in that too when you are in that state of enjoyment with that, atma aramaha, atmaratihi, atma krida, those words also we saw earlier. So such a man, there is no punaravritti. Gachanti apunaravrittim. They attain that stage, apunaravritti. Who are they? Jnana nirdhuta kalmashaha. All their kalmasha. Kalmasha means all the dirt. What is the dirt of the mind? Chitta malam. Chitta malam is all other, the feeling of I. That first of all, that I is dropped. That ego is dropped. The first thing in jnanam is, jnanam does not mean ego. Jnanam means dropping of the ego. Yeah, when I say Aham Brahmasmi, in the last class also I was saying Aham Brahmasmi is not an egotistical statement. Aham Brahmasmi is a statement which says that your ego has merged with this supreme consciousness. Your ego is no longer there. So that is that stage. So it is only when you have that feeling of I, then you have that feeling of another man. You are having the feeling of friend, enemy, you are having the feeling of raga, dvesha and all those things. When that I itself is not there, there is no question of this kalmasha. So that is why jnana nirdhuta kalmashaha. So that is whose chitta malam, all this mental dirt has been knocked off, has been blown away. Nirdhuta, this word dhu also means just blowing away. Just blowing away by a huge wind. That is what is called nirdhuta. So it is totally blown away, it is totally knocked out by this jnanam. So that is the general, that is the meaning. So if the time is over, we will see in the next class. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi.